What if I told you that in just 5 simple steps, you can build a web app that turns any text into a human-like, ultra-realistic voice using Google Cloud text-to-speech? Sounds crazy? It is not. And no, you don't need to be a senior developer to do it or being a master in machine learning. Today, you are going to learn exactly how to build this app using Python, Flask, and Google Cloud text-to-speech AI service, fully deployed and running in the cloud. You're gonna have this step-by-step. You see how to connect everything, generate natural voices, and have your app live on the internet. And to walk you through the entire process, I've brought one of our top experts here at the Cloud Bootcamp, Herbert Pereira. If you want to finish this video with a real working app and a brand new AI skill that companies are fighting to hire for, stay with me until the end. So let's dive in.
Can you imagine creating an application capable of transforming text into natural voices using artificial intelligence in minutes? I'm Herbert Pereira, and in this video I'm going to show you in 5 steps how to create a web application on Google Cloud capable of converting text into audio using the Python programming language and the Flask micro framework in conjunction with the Google Cloud Speech Service Artificial Intelligence Service. I'm already logged in with my Google Cloud account. I have a project, and every project has an ID. It's important that you know this information, and I'll explain why. So let's click on Activate Cloud Shell. For those who don't know what Cloud Shell is, it's a working environment with a terminal ready to use and with various tools installed, such as Python. Cloud Shell also offers an editor that allows you to manage your files, essentially functioning as an IDE, which makes the learning process much more manageable. All resources in Google Cloud are linked to a project. In the terminal, you'll notice that I already have a project set up, identified by its unique project ID. This allows me to interact with, create, and manage resources within that project. If you need to set or modify your project ID, you can use the gcloud config set project command. Simply run this command and provide your project ID, which will link your current session to the specified project in Google Cloud. Before we get started, let me introduce you to the text-to-speech service in the console. When you click on the navigation menu and select View All Products, you'll see that Google Cloud services are organized by category. Just a second, let's wait a moment, and we'll see all the categories for all Google Cloud services, including artificial intelligence and its AI and machine learning services. By clicking on artificial intelligence, you'll see all of Google Cloud's artificial intelligence services, including the powerful Vertex AI platform. Scroll down and you'll see the speech service. Speech service has both audio to text and text to audio services. So let's click on speech. You can also test the service directly from the console. While we'll be creating an application, you could test these services right from the console. It might prompt you to enable an API. If so, just click to enable it. Now, let's close the speech to text menu. And let's explore text-to-speech options, which is precisely the focus of this hands-on. To elaborate a bit further, when we talk about speech to text, we're referring to the process of converting audio into text. That's transcription. On the other hand, text-to-speech involves converting text into audio, which is called synthesis. Now let's click on the synthesis options. That's precisely what we'll be implementing in our Python application, an area where you can insert the text to make it an audio. We will also define the language in the Python application code. Depending on the language, you can test various types of voices, and from advanced options, you can select, for example, the audio format, the final result, like MP3 audio encoding. So, in 5 steps, I'm going to show you how to create an application and manipulate all this information you're seeing on the console, only using the Python programming language with Flask. Does that sound good to you? Let's move on to step 1 and activate the API. To activate it, just search for the Cloud Text-to-Speech API service and enable it. Most likely my API is already enabled. In your case, a button will appear here that you'll need to click to enable your API. Once the API is enabled, we'll move on to step 2, creating a virtual environment. For this, we'll use Python's virtualenv module, which stands for virtual environment, and specify the name of the virtual environment you want to create. After running this command and listing the files, you will see that a new folder has been created. Inside, you'll find a bin folder containing a script to activate the environment. To activate it, use the source command to run the activate script. When you're done, note that now you have the name of the virtual environment from the terminal's prompt. To exit from it, simply run the deactivate command. It seems like my typing skills are off today. Okay, so with this command you deactivate, and with the source command you activate the environment. Great. Our next command is to install the libraries we're going to use. You'll see from the code that we're using the Flask and the Google Cloud text-to-speech libraries. This command will install these two libraries, and that concludes step 2. In step 3, we're going to create our application using the code editor. So let's open the editor. I'll click here to create a new Python file for the application, which will be named text-to-speech.py. Let me paste the application code and walk you through what it does. First, it imports Flask, the framework used for creating web applications, and sets up the basic structure to handle requests and serve the text-to-speech functionality. It will also import the render template function, which is Flask's function for rendering HTML templates. You're probably wondering, but where's the HTML code? This will be our next step. We also have request, which lets us access the data submitted by the user through an HTTP form in our HTML code. Additionally, we have send file, the Flask function, that allows us to send files to the client. In this case, it will send the generated audio file. Lastly, we have our Google Cloud library, which will be used to access the speech synthesis service. And here, within the main function, we have the function of synthesis. Text synthesizing is where we set up exactly the parameters I showed you on the console, like what the language will be, what type of voice will be used. You can also configure the type of output. Remember the advanced settings we saw from the console, the audio encoding option? The code is set up to output an MP3 file. From the app root code session, we're saying that the root will access an index.html file, which we'll create in the next step, where it has a post method. This method will be inside a form, and it will, in the end, generate an MP3 output file based on a text that will be entered. And here I'm saying that my application will be accessible to everyone. Now let's move on to step 4, which is to create the web interface file. To do this, you click here so that it selects the root, and then click on Create a new folder. I'm going to call this folder Templates. Great. And inside that templates folder, I'm going to select the folder and click here for it to create a file called index.html. Let's paste the HTML application code. It's just a simple HTML page with a form and post method with a placeholder for you to insert the text and do the conversion. Basically, what we saw from the console. And now we're going to step 5, which is the last step, which is to run and test our application. Let's go back to the terminal and clear the screen. Now let's run Python informing the name of the application file, and here we go. The application is already up and running on port 5000. From the Cloud Shell, we have this web preview option, which gives us a preview that comes by default on port 8080, but you can change this port to a specific port that you are using in the application, in our case 5000. Click on Change Preview, and it will run our application so we can test it. Okay, the application has opened. Now we need to test it. To do this, I'm going to select a text just to end this video with the final result of this audio. Let's click on Convert and it will download an MP3 file. In some situations, you may need to go back to the terminal screen and click on Authorize. In this case, it didn't ask you to authorize anything, but you should always check it out in the Cloud Shell if you have been asked to authorize this action. If not, just click to open and let's hear the result.
If you liked this content and want to keep learning with us, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Come join our community, and let's learn together.
Alright, thank you so much for watching this video, and then if you enjoyed this content, please consider subscribing to our channel. Give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed this content, and then also please leave us a comment telling us what you think about this video and also the things that you'd like to see in a new video in here on our channel, okay? And then if you're interested in mastering multi-cloud DevOps and AI with our help, please check the links in the description as well. Hope to see you in the next video. Take care and goodbye for now.